that forward with Sumit Peer also joining us on the broadcast. Sumit, you know, how do we then explain this to the world? Because, of course, for Pakistan, most of the terrorists are religious clerics. And I don't want to get into the technicalities of that. But how do we then present this? And I know you're laughing about it because I think you understand what I mean. But how do we present this to the world? The fact that these are not okay. Let's put aside the fact that you probably don't care about India's evidence, right? That's the larger narrative that India's making up stories and India thinks everyone is a terrorist in Pakistan. Fine, let's put that aside for a moment. The US has designated this man as a terrorist. They first designate him, and then Pakistan's response is that, oh no, but US actually removed him from the prescribed terrorist list. Okay, great. But the fact remains that the man was a terrorist. Why is he leading funeral processions in Pakistan? Sumit.
Devika ji, thanks for having me on your show. And your question had a lot of, had a lot of answer inside it. The problem here is it's a dangerous here mix between mullahs and Maulvis and military. So you don't know who is a mullah, who is a Maulvi and military. You don't know एक शुरू कहाँ होता है, दूसरा खत्म कहाँ होता है. So at the time of Ziaulak, there was a rule: if you could do a madrasa for 5 years, you are qualified to join the forge. And Asim Munir doesn't come from ETA. He doesn't come from Officers Training Academy. He's from that Mullah-Military. Some कुछ वहाँ से connection है इसका. So he was a son of a Imam. He's now the chief of the Pakistani army, and he gratifies himself to be called it Hafiz Sahab. Hafiz Quran. That is his, claim to the power, and that is what is making him stick to the power. Now, if you see how they've been decimated and all, for them, if a son of a Maulvi or a radical mullah can become a chief of the army staff and wear a uniform of a full-fledged, full-branded terrorist, by US is doing that namaz, janaza, whatever, that is perfectly all right, because that is Islamic Republic of Pakistan. And what is the motive of the forge? Iman, taqwa, jihad, fizibillah. We believe in the Allah will include to jihad in the name of Allah. This is their official stated motive. And you have a mullah who's running the forge, and you have these people who have done 5 years in madrasa, they have raised to colonels and brigadiers and all. You don't need to clear an NDA, you don't need to clear an image, you just have to be a good, solid mullah and a radicalized jihadi. You can enter Pakistani military. Some of them end up as terrorists. Some of them end up like Rauf, and some of them even become Asim Munir. That is how the three branches are there from. Depends upon how radical you are, how radical your mind is, you can climb up the ladder. And there will be always a mullah who will pull you up, because thinking either you are the custodian of Islam and you are the custodian of religion. Because remember, Iman, Taqwa, Jihad, Fizibillah. That is what we are supposed to do. So in such a society, seeing this is not nothing new, and that is what they've been doing. But the kind of bloody dose they have got, we have decimated their Karachi, or decimated their Noor Khan. Even there talks of some alleged leaks of radiation. I don't know how far it is true. A lot of people are talking though. And with all those things, and there are more than 12 bases destroyed. We have whacked through Pakistan right, left and center, and none of them could do anything and challenge us. Our Air Marshal Bharti ji, the DGMO Air Operations, yesterday said, yes, we have brought down Pakistani jets, but he refused to comment which and what. He said high-tech hai. Now, what is high-tech in Pakistan? You know, I don't want to talk about it. High-tech walo ko giraya hai. I mean, Chinese cannot be high-tech by any means. So with all those things happening, now in Islamabad being hit, even there Noor Khan being hit, you have entered the backside of Munir's fortress Rawalpindi. You have dismantled his airbase. You have been courtesy enough to leave the building intact, and you came back and he could not do anything. So what can they say? The DGMO, by the way, the current DGMO, his father was a designated American terrorist. He tried to sell nukes to Osama bin Laden and the know-how to Osama bin Laden. So his son is the DGMO, current DGMO, jiski main baat kar raha hu. So this terrorist mullah and military nexus is so intrigued. Nobody will be able to decimate kaun shuru kahan hota, kaun kahan khatam hota. This is what Pakistan is. It's a radicalized country, and their nuclear bluff is off. We have shown them what is the might and power of Indian Air Force. We have told them how accurate our attacks can be, and we have shown to them what we could do in first 23 minutes. Then how much could we do in 42 minutes? And where were your Chinese gizmos? Where were your radars? Where were your GF-17s? And by the way, I am happy when Air Marshal Bharti showed that PL-15 missile. That was the pride of China. That was the pride of PLA. We were told, oh, it is not PL-15E. We gave them the PL-15 from the Chinese armory. What CCP uses? अचूक मिसाइल है, ब्रह्मास्त्र, but गिर गया था, पड़ा मिला, useless था. And when all those things, the Chinese myth and the Pakistani support is shattered. And by the way, those Turkish drones, Yaya, Vaya, Inshallah, Mashallah, whatever their names is, they were all useless. nothing could come through. Whatever we hit at 100%, and their hit rate was not even 1%. Shame on these Pakistanis, shame on these militaries. And what they should do, they should hide behind Munir, and they should go and look for the next Arab Sheikh after retirement, whose PSO they are going to be. Because most of the army generals end up a PSO to Arab Sheikhs, and they live on zakat and khairat. There are two options of living, and by the way, IMF gave them some money which will go back to Dubai, so they'll be back to zakat and khairat. That is what the Pakistan is about. And this mullah-ness is the way to hold to the power. Elite radicalized mullah is the chief of army staff. What do you say, Devika ji? Kya kare? You are absolutely right. So when terrorists end up as Maulvis, and Maulvis as terrorists, and terrorists as army chief, and army chief is a terrorist, that is why you and me and the world is going hatter-scatter. Where does it end and where does it start? But the thing is, they are all synonyms of the same thing. That is radicalized Islamic terror. That is what they are, and we have to live with it. It doesn't matter what your name is. And by the way, Bajwa will go, Khwaja will come, Niazi will go, Quraishi will come, Qureshi will go, Abdali will come. Sab yahi rahega. From Yahya Khan in 1965 to Mullah Munir in 2025. 60 years have passed by, Devika ji. What has changed? Mansikta wahi hai. Mentality is exactly same, and even the motive is same. Iman, taqwa, jihad, fizibillah. Don't compare them with our generals. उनकी तो बूट पॉलिश करने लायक नहीं है लोग. दे आर प्रोफेशनल आर्मी, दे हैव गॉन थ्रू एनडीए, आईएमए एंड ऑल. दे आर एलीट पीपल. क्या बात कर रहे हैं? दे आर, ये मदरसा छाप है. दे आर मदरसा छाप hooligans who end up as generals in Pakistan. And when they reach the topmost, what will they say? हिंदू को मारना है, गजवा हिंद करना है, हिंदुस्तान का ये करना है. I mean, that is the usual thing. And this dangerous mix where the people change their roles in a flap in a particular day, America should look at it, European Union should look at it, and the People's Republic of China should look at it. By the way, Chinese toys, this Turkish toys or Iranian toys, whatever they had, they're all useless or all futile. And we told them what India is worth of and what is India's capabilities is. Today, after our DGMOs give the briefing, I'm very sure ISPR will be scrambling. They'll be trying to copy paste things, evidences, yahan se, wahan se. What next churran to sell to the Janta of Pakistan? That is what Pakistan is. They are selling churran to the people of Pakistan, and Pakistan of people will also consume this, because the idea of Jinnah, the idea of Pakistan, and when Munir told them, Khuda ne do riyasatein banai thi, Medina or 1300 saal baad Pakistan, unfortunately Pakistan has failed. That is the latest invention or the discovery they should know. Devika ji.
Okay. All right. Let's come to claim number 2 by Pakistan, and this is where it gets really interesting.